Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'll be breaking down our first fight for UFC Fight Night 272. This card will be taking place this Saturday, April 4th, and it is headlined by Renato Money Moicano taking on his fellow teammate from American Top Team and surging lightweight fighter Chris the Problem Duncan. Honestly, I'm very much looking forward to this fight. Both guys are usually put on pretty entertaining fights. Like Renato Moicano, usually pretty fun fighter to watch, like against Alexander Hernandez or Brad Riddell. Usually speaking, Money Moicano is much watch TV, and especially if like he gets the mic and he wins. His post fight interviews are always fun to watch. He takes on, like I said, his fellow teammate Chris Duncan from American Top Team, and I'm very much looking forward to that because Chris Duncan's been on a heater, 4-fight win streak, 3 of those by finish. This is going to be a great fight. Now, the rest of the card as a whole, I have some mild expectations. Like I like the co-main event, Verna Jandudova versus Tabitha Ritchie, good battle of strawweights, young versus old. But a lot of the card is, huge favorites. Like Tommy McMillan, Abdul Rahman Yakvayev, who's like a 20-1 favorite in his fight. Now there are some gems. I will say, like I said, I am interested in seeing Tommy McMillan in his UFC debut. I'm very curious to see how Ethan Ewing takes on Rafael Estevan. Robert Rucella versus Jose Delano. That's going to be a good fight. But a lot of these fights really come down to two things for me. It's either this is kind of easy to pick. The other one is, who do I pick? It's just like, who's the lesser of two evils? That's really what it feels like to me. But with that said, let's get to our first fight. Our first fight on the card, we have Dione Barboza taking on Melissa Gatto. Looking at our two fighters, Melissa Gatto is currently 9-2-2 as a professional, 3-4 in her last 5 fights. Of her last 5 fights, she took down Victoria Leonardo and basically broke her arm. TKO'd Cijar Eubanks with a body kick. Then went on a 2-fight skid, losing to Tracy Cortez and Ariane Lipsky de Silva. Then most recently, October of 2024, defeat Tamiris Vidal via body shot. Pretty inactive for Melissa Gatto. You look at these last 4 fights, 4 years and 7 months ago, 4 years and 3 months ago, 3 years and 10 months against Cortez, almost 3 years, the 2 years and 8 months to be exact from the De Silva fight. And then, like I said, the Tamiris Vidal fight about a year and 10 months ago. Not very active for Melissa Gatto, but she's still pretty young at 29, so she still has a chance. Now, she takes on Dione Barboza, who's currently 8-4 as a professional. She, as well, is also 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Looking at her last 5, she won on Contender Series to get the contract, then went basically win-loss. Beat Ernesta Karashkaitis via decision at UFC 301. Pretty fun fight, I thought. Then lost to Miranda Maverick, which, to be fair, it was short notice, and Barboza put on a gamed effort, I thought. Then beat, Diana Belita via submission, via arm triangle. Sorry, it took me a second to register that name. And then most recently at UFC 319, lost to Karine Silva, which again did take on short notice. And some could argue that Barboza should have won that fight. So you look at it, Barboza, when she fights ranked opposition, she's just comes up. Just comes up a bit short. But against fighters who are in the same kind of circle as her, unranked, trying to rise up the ranks, Dione Barboza beats them. So that is kind of the tail of the tape. But look at Melissa Gatto. I feel like she's also of the same level as Dione Barboza, and I feel like this is surprisingly a tricky fight to call, in my opinion. But with that said, let's get down to the breakdown. Starting with Dione Barboza, I'd say her biggest strength is her grappling. She's a very good athlete, physically strong, and when she gets the fight to the ground, she can control position and win minutes or win outright via submission. And like I said, you look at it, Miranda Maverick and Karine Silva. Solid competition that Dione Barboza is losing to, which I guess you could also say shows something about her level right now. But there are a couple of concerns, right? I've noticed that Barboza, she tends to fade as the fight goes on. Not dramatically. It's not a case of, by half of round two, she's sucking wind like, no, it's just enough that it becomes noticeably in close fights, like Karine Silva, like Miranda Maverick. Grant, I'll be talking about those two losses of hers in the UFC, but they are important. And you notice that she did slow down in those fights. Again, short notice, I know, but there is a pattern. And while her grappling is her best weapon, she isn't always dominant to the point where she completely shuts her opponents out all the time. Now, looking at Melissa Gatto, I honestly think she's a bit more well rounded. She can strike, she can grapple, and she's comfortable in different phases of the fight. One thing I really like about Melissa Gatto, she attacks the body very well. It's how she beat Eubank, how she beat Tamir Vidal. All that her body work stands out, and that's a weapon that pays dividends over time. So for Gatto, she also has enough grappling ability that I don't think she's going to be completely outmatched in this fight. And while she may not be dominant on the ground, I think Gatto can survive, scramble, and get back to the feet and continue her game plan of attacking to the body. The big concern, though, is activity, right? Or inactivity. As I said, Gatto has not fought in nearly 2 years, and that always raises questions about like timing and sharpness because ring rust is a real thing. It affects so many fighters. Now, looking at it stylistically, I think the fight comes down to Barboza's grappling and control and Gatto's well-rounded game and body work. If Barboza can consistently get takedowns and control, she absolutely is going to win rounds. But if Gatto can defend enough of those entries, land consistent shots, especially to the body, and extend the fight into later rounds, then I think the momentum could shift in her favor. So, honestly, for me, this is not a confident pick either way. Like I know most people are going to pick Dione Barboza. Has a bit more momentum in terms of activity. She's definitely fought better competition for sure. And well, I take it back because you could argue that Tracy Cortez is better than both Karine Silva and Miranda Maverick, but still, both girls have only lost to top 10, really top 10 flyweights, and beating everybody else who who the UFC puts in front of them. Again, not confident, but I know why most people would pick Dione Barboza, as she has a clearer path, especially early with her grappling. But I just feel like Melissa Gatto's body work and overall versatility gives her the tools to turn the fight as it goes on. And if Barboza does fade even slightly, that could be a big difference here. So for my official prediction, I'm going to go with Melissa Gatto, and I'm going to pick her via decision. Close fight, I think competitive throughout, but I think the fact that I've seen Dione Barboza fade in fights, again, not drastically, but noticeably. And Melissa Gatto, she attacks the body very well. That's the big reason why I'm picking her. She has very good body work. And her ability to hold her own in grappling exchanges, I think, should allow Melissa Gatto to edge it out. So once again, I'm going to pick Melissa Gatto in this fight. I'm going to pick her via decision. But with that being said, that's been my breakdown of this matchup. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below on who you think's going to win. But until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. And remember, stay calm, stay respectful, and enjoy the violence. I'll see y'all next time.